Hey, welcome to Shimmer Blast. In this video, I will show you how to make a life-size Candyland game. This is great for an indoor or outdoor party. If you need to mask up and be socially distant like us, then an outdoor setup like this is perfect. I'll take you through 7 Candyland games to play along our life-size game board, and I'll tell you tips for how to create decorations and prepare for a fast party setup. I will share with you 6 fails to avoid that will save you money and time and frustration, like how to keep your wood squares from bowing. First things first, you've got to decide on paper or wood for your Candyland path. I opted for wood because paper will bend and blow away, and you have to laminate it to make it last. Utilizing wood means you can reuse it for another party or for things like a trunk or treat. I cut 96 12 by 12 inch squares. I bumped my mower to the lowest setting to create a path. Then I used lawn spray paint to outline each square for a faster party setup on the morning of. I bought 3 4 by 8 foot sheets of 1/8 inch MDF hardboard for $8.98 at Home Depot. They probably would have cut it for me if I'd asked. I spray painted the shiny side of the wood. Choose 5 colors of bright spray paint. Holding it at an angle, spray it in both directions 2 to 3 times. Because of the outlines, I can have my kids get the squares back in place easily because they will get bumped. It's Gumdrop Forest! I printed gumdrops to stake into the ground with skewer sticks. For the big gumdrops, I seriously just used what I had lying around. I put bowls on top of some of the buckets and covered them with colorful plastic tablecloth. After taping them, I sprayed some of them with wall texture spray to give it a sugar-dusted look. Seriously, it's just what I had on hand. Part of our gameplay was a black licorice dart throwing game. Each balloon had a letter clue inside that the kids had to retrieve to move on. So lucky if you land on the Rainbow Bridge shortcut. I made this by cutting a rectangle plastic tablecloth in half, taping the 2 halves together, and twisting each color alongside each other to form a rainbow. I staked it down with wood skewers. At Peppermint Forest, I bought the tall candy canes for $5 and made the rest. Pool noodles are $1. Then I spray painted them white and wrapped them in red duct tape. The round peppermints are paper plates wrapped with clear cellophane and tied on both ends. I'll give you a great time saver tip at the end of the video. At Nutty Grounds, I printed a bunch of peanuts and staked them or taped them around. Our gameplay required the kids to use a peanut detector, better known as a metal detector, to unbury a peanut, crack it open, and inside is the next letter clue. Licorice Lagoon is Lord Licorice's lair. To make the licorice, cut pool noodles to around 18 inches tall. Then put 2 stripes of hot glue to give them a licorice-like texture. On one noodle, make a glue-shaped star. Then spray paint everything black. The star will lead to a clue sheet that I made on a Word doc. This will give the kids directions to their next clue. To make Lord Licorice, take a pre-made cardboard cutout and print or draw a face to be taped over the cardboard. Put on a cape and hat, and there's your easy villain. At Lollipop Land, the kids will play Lolly Plinko to find their next clue. I have a separate video for how to make Plinko with suckers to tie into Lolly's Land. I printed and staked some of the lollipops. For the rest, I used colorful treat bags over paper bowls with a dowel coming out of the bottom. And then I tied a bow. Frosting's Palace was simple. I put plastic covering over a table with white balloons on a layer of fake snow. I printed or drew ice cream cones for the nearby bush. As a part of our gameplay, I printed a simple riddle that we covered in whipped topping. The kids used ice cream cones to uncover the message. King Candy's castle was a bit tricky. Get help holding the edges of the plastic tablecloth down while you tape. The wind will make your job a nightmare until it's totally taped down. For the pillars, I stacked 4 5-gallon buckets and covered them in white plastic tablecloth. I made a cone out of poster board and drew rectangles, added brown spray paint, and taped it to the top of the buckets. I made windows out of more plastic tablecloth and taped them on. I used a chain and black licorice covered board to lock the castle door shut. The letter clues they found throughout Candyland spelled a word which unlocked the door. Inside was a cupcake pinata. I had party bags ready to hand the kids as they waited their turn to whack at that pinata. Then we had a cake and presents. I have a separate video for how to make a Candyland cake. Now I'll tell you our 6 fails and tips so you don't have to personally experience them for yourself. At a party, you want to keep things going, so pairing kids to go in groups through the Candyland game board keeps them from standing around. For the groups waiting to go, play this dice game. There will be a pile of wrapped candy bars in the middle. Kids take turns rolling the dice. If they get a 1 or a 6, they put gloves on and quickly try to unwrap a present. The dice keeps getting rolled by players until someone else gets a 1 or a 6. Then they quickly get the gloves and take the present from the person currently unwrapping. Once unwrapped, the person with the gloves keeps unwrapping until someone else rolls a 1 or a 6. Once all the bars are unwrapped, tell each guest to choose their favorite and put the rest in the middle. Kids who did not unwrap one, choose from the middle. Everyone's happy. Pricing out the wood versus paper. Well, if you just want to use this once, 12 by 12 cardstock is the cheapest if you get it on a deal. MDF hardboard has a shiny side and a rough side. The shiny side takes less paint, but that makes the rough side sit on the grass, causing it to bow. I sprayed a clear coat of spray paint on the rough side. That stopped the bowing. If I would have sprayed only 80 squares, 1 can of each colored spray paint would have been enough, saving some money. However, my hand and forearms hurt so bad after spraying 96 squares that I would look into getting a paintbrush and applying a cheap paint, then possibly sealing that with a clear coat. When making the circle peppermints, I tried coloring, painting, and gluing the red accent. Coloring and painting took forever. I used my Cricut machine to cut a red stripe pattern and glued it with hot glue. Then I trimmed the rim of the glued plates. With the peanuts, lots of people have severe allergies. I love the idea of guests cracking open a peanut to find the letter clue, but perhaps a paper peanut is better. Some of my guests, after all, could not participate. Also prepare the soil so it's easier to dig. When making the lollipops and covering things with plastic tablecloth, buy the better quality product. Walmart stuff tends to be very thin and rips easily. It usually is only about a 60-cent difference. Reinforce your piñata. Add a bit of cardboard where the rope attaches, and then your guests can whack at it longer. Duct tape is a quick patch if you forget to reinforce. If you want to see how we played the life-size Candyland game, check out the links in the description. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for more party ideas.